Nehemya, or Nehemiah, chapters 11 through 13. Now, the rulers of the people dwelt at Jerusalem, and the rest of the people cast lots to bring 1 out of 10 to dwell in Jerusalem, the set-apart city, and 9/10 were to dwell in other cities. And the people blessed all the men who volunteered to dwell at Jerusalem. And these are the heads of the province who dwelt in Jerusalem, but in the cities of Yehuda, everyone dwelt in his own possession and in their cities. Israel, the priests, and the Levites, and the Nethinim, and the sons of Shlomo's servants. And in Jerusalem dwelt certain of the children of Yehuda and of the children of Benjamin. Of the children of Yehuda, Athaiah, son of Uzziah, son of Zechariah, son of Amariah, son of Shephatiah, son of Mahalalel, of the children of Peretz. And of Maaseiah, son of Baruch, son of Kol-Hoseh, son of Haziah, son of Adiah, son of Yoyarib, son of Zechariah, son of Shalomi. All the sons of Peretz who dwelt at Jerusalem were 468 brave men. And these are the sons of Benjamin: Salu, son of Meshullam, son of Yaved, son of Pedaiah, son of Kolaiah, son of Maaseiah, son of Ithiel, son of Yeshaiah, and after him Gabai, Salai, 928. And Yoel, son of Zikri, was their overseer. And Yehuda, son of Senuah, was second over the city. Of the priests, Yediah, son of Yoyarib, Yakin, Sariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Tzadok, son of Marioth, son of Ahitub, was the leader of the house of Elohim. And their brothers who did the work of the house were 822. And Adiah, son of Yeraham, son of Pelaliah, son of Amitzi, son of Zechariah, son of Pashur, son of Malchiah, and his brothers, heads of the fathers' houses, were 242. And Amashai, son of Azarel, son of Achsai, son of Meshillemoth, son of Immer, and their brothers, mighty brave ones, were 128. And their overseer was Zabdiel, son of the great ones. Also of the Levites, Shemaiah, son of Hashub, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah, son of Buni, and Shabbethai and Jozabad of the heads of the Levites over the outside work of the house of Elohim. And Mattaniah, son of Micah, son of Zabdi, son of Asaph, who was the leader who began the thanksgiving with prayer. And Bakbukiah, the second among his brothers, and Abda, son of Shammua, son of Galal, son of Yeduthun. All the Levites in the set-apart city were 284. And the gatekeepers, Akub, Talmon, and their brothers keeping guard at the gates, were 172. And the rest of Israel, of the priests, Levites, were in all the cities of Yehuda, each one in his own inheritance. But the Nethinim dwelt in Ophel, and Sehah and Gishpah were over the Nethinim. And the overseers of the Levites at Jerusalem was Uzzi, son of Bani, son of Hashabiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micah. Of the sons of Asaph, the singers were over the work of the house of Elohim, for the sovereign's command was upon them, and support for the singers a matter day by day. and Bethaiah, son of Meshezabel, of the children of Zerah, son of Yehuda, was the sovereign's deputy in all matters concerning the people. And at the villages with their fields, some of the children of Yehuda dwelt in Kiriath Arba and its villages, and in Dibon and its villages, and in Yekabzeel and its villages, and in Yeshua, and in Moladah, and in Beth Pelet, and in Hatzar Shual, and in Beersheba and its villages, and in Ziklag, and in Makona and its villages, and in En Rimmon, and in Sora, and in Yarmuth, Zanova, Adullam, and their villages, in Lachish and its fields, in Azekah and its villages. So they dwelt from Beersheba to the valley of Hinnom. And the children of Benjamin from Geba, Michmash, and Ahiah, and Bethel, and their villages. Anathoth, Nob, Ananiah, Hatzar, Ramah, Gittaim, Hadid, Tzeboim, Nebalat, Lod, and Ono, and the valley of craftsmen. And of the Levites, the divisions of Yehuda were for Benjamin. Chapter 12. And these were the priests and the Levites who came up with Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Yeshua: Sariah, Yermiah, Ezra, Amariah, Maluk, Hattush, Shechaniah, Rehum, Meremoth, Edo, Ginnathoi, Abiah, Mayamin, Maadiah, Bilgah, Shamaiah, and Yoyarib, Yediah, Salu, Amok, Hilkiah, and Yediah. These were the heads of the priests and their brothers in the days of Yeshua. And the Levites, Yeshua, Binnui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Yehuda, Mattaniah, over the thanksgiving, he and his brothers. And Babukiah and Uni, their brothers, were opposite them for the guard duties. And Yeshua brought forth Joachim, and Joachim brought forth Eliashib, and Eliashib brought forth Joiada, and Joiada brought forth Jonathan, and Jonathan brought forth Yaddua. And in the days of Joachim, the priests, the heads of the fathers' houses, were of Sariah, Mariah, of Yermiah, Hananiah, of Ezra, Meshullam, of Amariah, Yohanan, of Meliku, Jonathan, of Shebaniah, Yosef, of Harim, Adnah, of Marioth, Helki, of Edo, of Zachariah, of Ginnathon, Meshullam, of Abiah, Zikri, son of Miniamin, of Moadiah, Piltai, of Bilgah, Shammua, of Shamaiah, Yehonathan, of Yoyarib, Mattanai, of Yediah, Uzi, of Salai, Kalai, of Amok, Eber, of Hilkiah, Hashabiah, and of Yediah, Nathaniel. The Levites and the priests in the days of Eliashib, Joiada, Johanan, and Yedua were recorded heads of their fathers' houses. Also the priests in the reign of Dariavish the Persian. The sons of Levi, the heads of the fathers' houses, until the days of Johanan, son of Eliashib, were written in the book of the annals. And the heads of the Levites were Hashabiah, Sherebiah, and Yeshua, son of Kadmiel, with their brothers opposite them, to praise, to give thanks, watch opposite watch, according to the command of David, the man of Elohim. Mattaniah and Bakbukiah, Obadiah, Meshullam, Talmon, Akkub were gatekeepers guarding at the storerooms of the gates. These were in the days of Joachim, son of Yeshua, son of Yotzadak, and in the days of Nehemya the governor, and of Ezra the priest, the scribe. And at the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, they sought out the Levites in all their places to bring them to Jerusalem to perform the dedication with gladness, and with thanksgivings, and with singing, cymbals, harps, and lyres. And the sons of the singers gathered together from the countryside around Jerusalem, from the villages of the Netophathites, and from the house of Gilgal, and from the fields of Geba and Asmaveth, for the singers had built themselves villages all around Jerusalem. And the priests and the Levites cleansed themselves, and they cleansed the people, and the gates and the wall. And I brought the rulers of Yehudah up on the wall, and appointed 2 large thanksgiving choirs to go to the right on the wall toward the dung gate. And after them went Hoshea and half of the rulers of Yehudah. Then Azariah, Ezra, and Meshullam, Yehudah and Benjamin, and Shemaiah and Jeremiah, and of the sons of the priests with trumpets, Zechariah son of Jonathan, son of Shemaiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micaiah, son of Zachor, son of Asaph, and his brothers Shemaiah and Azarel, Milalai, Galalai, Maai, Nethanel, and Yehudah, Hanani, with instruments of songs of David, the man of Elohim, with Ezra the scribe before them. And at the fountain gate, and straight ahead of them, they went up the stairs of the city of David on the stairway of the wall, beyond the house of David, as far as the water gate eastward. And the other thanksgiving choir went over against them, and I behind them, with half of the people on the wall, going past the tower of the ovens as far as the broad wall, and above the gate of Ephraim, and above the old gate, and above the fish gate, and the tower of Hananel, and the tower of the 100, as far as the sheep gate. And they stood still at the gate of the prison. Then the 2 thanksgiving choirs took their stand in the house of Elohim, and I and half of the deputy rulers with me, and the priests, Eliakim, Maaseiah, Minyamin, Micaiah, Elioenai, Zechariah, Hananiah, with trumpets, and Maaseiah, and Shemaiah, and Eleazar, and Uzi, and Johanan, and Malchiah, and Ilam, and Azar. And the singers sang aloud, with Yisrael in charge. And on that day they slaughtered great slaughterings and rejoiced, for Elohim had made them rejoice with great joy. And the women and the children also rejoiced, so that the joy of Jerusalem was heard far away. And on that day some were appointed over their rooms for the stores, for the contributions, for the first fruits, and for tithes, to gather into them from the fields of the cities the portions required by the Torah, for the priests and for the Levites. For Yehudah rejoiced over the priests and the Levites who stood up. Both the singers and the gatekeepers guarded the charge of their Elohim and the charge of the cleansing, according to the command of David and Shlomo his son. For in the days of David and Asaph of old, there were chiefs of the singers and songs of praise and thanksgiving to Elohim. And in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemya, all Israel gave the portions for the singers and the gatekeepers, a portion for each day. And they set apart what was for the Levites, and the Levites set apart what was for the children of Aaron. In chapter 13. On that day was read from the book of Moshe in the hearing of the people, and in it was found written that an Ammonite and a Moabite should not come into the assembly of Elohim forever, because they had not met the children of Israel with bread and water, and hired Balaam against them to curse them, although our Elohim turned the curse into a blessing. And it came to be, when they had heard the Torah, that they separated all the mixed multitude from Israel. And before this, Eliashib the priest, having authority over the storerooms of the house of our Elohim, was a relative of Tobiah, and he had prepared for him a large room, where previously they had stored the grain offerings, the frankincense, and the utensils, the tithes of grain, the new wine, and the oil, which were commanded to be given to the Levites and the singers and the gatekeepers, and the contributions for the priests. But in all this I was not in Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artashashta, sovereign of Babel, I came to the sovereign, and after some days I asked leave from the sovereign to return. And I came to Jerusalem, and learned of the evil which Eliashib had done for Tobiah in preparing a room for him in the courts of the house of Elohim, and it was very displeasing to me. Therefore I threw all the household goods of Tobiah out of the room, and I commanded them to cleanse the rooms, and I put back into the utensils of the house of Elohim with the grain offering and the frankincense. And I learned that the portions for the Levites had not been given them, for each of the Levites and the singers who did the work had gone back to his field. Then I contended with the deputy rulers and said, "Why is the house of Elohim forsaken?" And I gathered them together and set them in their place. And all Yehudah brought the tithe of the grain and the new wine and the oil to the storehouse. And I appointed treasurers over the storehouse, Shelemiah the priest, and Sadok the scribe, and Pedaiah of the Levites. And at their hand was Hanan, son of Zaccur, son of Mattaniah. For they were reckoned trustworthy, and it was on them to distribute to their brothers. Remember me, O my Elohim, concerning this, and do not wipe out my loving commitments that I've done for the house of my Elohim and for its charges. In those days I saw in Yehudah those treading wine presses on the Sabbath, bringing in sheaves and loading donkeys with wine, grapes, and figs, and all kinds of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. So I warned them on the day they sold food. And men of Tsor dwelt there, bringing in fish and all kinds of goods, and sold them on the Sabbath to the children of Yehudah and in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Yehudah and said to them, "What evil matter is this that you're doing, profaning the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers do the same, so that our Elohim brought all this evil on us and on this city? Yet you bring added wrath on Israel by profaning the Sabbath." And it came to be, when the gates of Jerusalem were shaded before the Sabbath, that I commanded the doors to be shut, and commanded that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And I stationed some of my servants at the gates. So no burdens would be brought in on the Sabbath day. And all the merchants and sellers of all kinds of wares spent the night outside Jerusalem once or twice. And I warned them and said to them, "Why do you spend the night around the wall? If you do so again, I lay hands on you." From that time on, they came no more on the Sabbath. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and they should come, guarding the gates, to set apart the Sabbath day. Remember me, O my Elohim, concerning this also, and pardon me according to the greatness of your loving commitment. In those days I also saw Yehudim who had married women of Ashdod, Ammon, Moab, and half of their children spoke the language of Ashdod and could not speak the language of Yehuda, but spoke according to the language of one or the other people. Then I contended with them and cursed them and struck some of them and pulled out their hair and made them swear by Elohim, saying, You do not give your daughters as wives to their sons, nor take their daughters for your son or yourselves. Did not Shlomo, sovereign of Israel, sin because of them? Among the many nations, there was no sovereign like him, who was beloved of his Elohim, and Elohim made him sovereign over all Israel. Even him, foreign women caused to sin. Should we then hear of your doing all this great evil, trespassing against our Elohim by marrying foreign women? And one of the sons of Yoyada, son of Elishab, the high priest, was the son-in-law of Sanballat the Horonite, and I drove him away from me. Remember them, O my Elohim, because they've defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. Thus I cleansed them from all that is foreign, and I appointed duties to the priests and the Levites, each in his task. And for the wood offering and the first fruits at appointed times. Remember me, O my Elohim, for good. And Psalm 126. When Yehovah turns back the captivity of Zion, we shall be like dreamers. And then our mouths shall be filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. And then they shall say among the nations, Yehovah has done great deeds for them. Yehovah shall do great deeds for us. We shall be glad. Turn back our captivity, O Yehovah, like the streams in the south. Those sowing in tears shall reap with songs of joy. He who goes on and weeps, bearing seed for sowing, shall indeed come in with rejoicing, bearing his sheaves.